Hi, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kristen with the Run Princess family, and I am here with a whole bunch of special guests, but as always, with my girl, Linda Barros. She's another admin on the awesome team. And we have all of these beautiful ladies who are badass and amazing and epic. They have been around the runDisney circuit for a hot minute, and they all came to Wine and Dine, and we all crushed it at Marathon, and it was super, super amazing. I think I said that right. Did everybody go to Wine and Dine? I should have asked that first. Nope. They almost all went to Wine and Dine, and then they all crushed it at Marathon because I remember running with them. So how are you guys doing tonight?
Good. Doing pretty good.
Can't complain.
Awesome. Do you guys want to go around and say hi, say your name, kind of tell us a little bit about you, fun fact, anything like that?
I'll start.
Okay, go.
Oh, I'll start. I'm like, no, we didn't put an order into the way we were going to do this. I'm Erin, and what am I supposed to say about myself? I got into running like 8 years ago now, 8 years ago. I actually am not a runDisney. That's not how I started. A lot of people I know in the runDisney community started by finding Disney and their love of Disney. I actually ran for about 4 years before I ever did a runDisney race. But then I fell in love with it because it's the best place to fun run and see the characters and run with friends. And I have been to Marathon Weekend now for 5 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've done Goofy every single time. And next year in 2023, Susana has made me promise to do Dopey. So that'll be my first.
Me too.
All right.
I think that's it. What else about me? I have a podcast we'll run for. I'll plug it
Which
at
is
the end.
phenomenal, by the way. If you have not binge watched it, listen to it because you can't watch it. You should definitely. I am on a roll, killing it tonight. This is fantastic. Definitely some, and we will listen to. We will link those to the show notes as well. Susana.
So let's see here. I started out running on my own for health reasons and get fit and stay up, catch up with the kids, you know, since they start running, and gotta keep active with them. But what actually introduced me into races was Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell, which I never ran it, but first marathon I ran with Chicago, but as a result of training for Dopey, which was in 2014. So other than that, fun fact, next year will be my 10th Dopey. So
you're a perfect
That's amazing.
Perfect Dopey.
Quick question about that. What happens when you become a perfect Dopey? Because I have another friend that does it and I don't quite understand. But for anybody who also doesn't understand, what does that mean?
There's just the difference of lanyards. I almost walked away this year without my lanyard, but luckily a volunteer stopped me and gave me my lanyard. But from the 5th year on, we get the lanyard and our bibs are differentiated. Looking forward to the 10th to see what comes out of it.
Oh, and you get guarantee entry, don't you? Like, or opportunity to join?
Yes, for just that race weekend.
That's so cool.
So I don't have to stress about it. All I got to worry is about the link and register.
That's amazing.
Next year is going to be stressful. There's like everybody wants Dopey next year.
I'll be stress free.
She's gonna be kicking back like Erin.
Yeah.
I'm fundraising, so I'm gonna grab a bib before it even opens. So yes,
That's
I
actually
will,
really good
I will
idea.
be lounging and chilling because I'm gonna fundraise for it.
That's a great idea too.
I figure if I'm gonna go for that kind of distance, I might as well give it meaning.
That's
That ironically, marathon was the only race this year that I did not fundraise for.
You got to go back and redo it again.
I agree.
Yep.
That's the plan.
Maria.
Okay, I'm Maria. I've been running for, I think, maybe 5 years now, 4 or 5 years. I did not start with Run Disney at all. I started actually doing little virtual runs for charity around my neighborhood because I just was very, very insecure about my running abilities. I'm back of the pack all the way, and I am an
Where
introvert.
the party's at.
That's right. We're the mullet. We're the fun side of the mullet.
I love that.
But I have a friend that lives in Orlando, and we went to elementary, middle school, and high school and college together. And we decided to one day be like, hey, did you see that there's a Run Disney race? And it was Princess. She was like, well, if you do it, I'll do it. And I was like, well, if you do it, I'll do it. And we both ended up registering. She did the 5K, and I went in not having done a 10K or a half marathon and signed up for the challenge.
Nice.
Then I ended up doing Miami as my first half marathon. A month later, it was Princess. And then a week later, I did another Miami marathon. It was called the 305 half marathon and 5K. So I did the half marathon and ended up doing 3 half marathons in 3 months. And then I ended the year 2019 with 4 half marathons, doing Wine and Dine. And yeah, I mean, it's been a fun ride. And then I just did my first marathon in Dopey, which was crazy because apparently I hate myself that much to do my first of something in a challenge.
And you love yourself that much.
And that's the fun fact about me. I'm just that crazy that I'll be like, oh, you're throwing me a challenge? I'm gonna do this.
You're my people.
Challenge is that secret sexy word where you're like, done, let's go. You don't even know what the challenge is, but it's just like you hear that word and you're like, let's go.
Or somebody tells me, you're not a runner. Bet, let's go. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't like those words. Anna?
Actually, before I start, Maria and I were supposed to do Dopey next year, not this year. So then she randomly posted on Instagram once that she registered. And everyone, like the internet exploded with people saying, congratulations, I'm so excited. I'm like, no, that was not the plan.
We had a plan and nobody stuck to it. Really?
It was the medals. What can I say? Those medals, they revealed them before registration. What are you supposed to do? It's like, oh,
I fell for it, so.
It's easy to fall for those little tricks. Damn Disney.
I know. Oh gosh, the FOMO. I'm Anna. I started running in high school. I ran as a kid, like randomly, but not consistently. And then in high school, I did track and cross country, and then ran through college and been running ever since. And I started long distance running, half marathon and longer once I finished having kids. I figured, okay, I'm done with pregnancies. Now I can just focus on long distance without having to disrupt the effort or whatever. So my daughter was born in 2011, and then in 2012, I did my first half and my first full. And then my first Disney race was 2016. I did Dopey because I thought Run Disney was going to be a one and done, like once in a lifetime thing. But apparently I drank the Run Disney Kool-Aid, so I've been coming back ever since.
Kool-Aid is so good.
Tastes like fake cheese.
Run Disney.
Tastes like fake cheese and pretzels.
The best
Most
plastic
expensive
cheese ever.
Kool-Aid I've ever drank.
And those cold bananas. I'm not gonna lie, sidebar, cold bananas during a marathon, they totally work.
Yep.
I mean, I don't ever want another cold banana unless it's for a marathon, but still, they did the trick.
It's Orange Cat.
Wow. Hi, meow meow.
The random orange cat on the screen now.
Looking at us.
It came to marathon weekend too.
This is going on YouTube too, so everyone's going to see him.
Like, I heard there was Disney and there's mice there, so I'm here.
Well, we're all
right?
dressed like mice right behind him.
There's pizza on my couch, so now he's like, "Oh, pizza." That's really what's happening. Because my cat is a dog.
Mine is too. Mine eats nachos in bed sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. He's obsessed with chips. So yes, we feel you on that.
All right. So you guys kind of all said how you got like into runDisney, or kind of like when you started, how long you've been there. But how did you guys all meet? How did you guys connect?
Erin and I,
So I've known, yeah, go ahead, Susana.
you go ahead.
Okay. Susana and I have known each other for like 5 years almost.
Yeah.
Sort of through another podcast group called Team Shenanigans that we used to listen to, which kind of came out of the Mickey Milers, if anyone's familiar with them also. And they did a podcast. I guess that podcast was around for maybe 4-ish years.
Wow.
And so I met her through that Facebook group.
Cool.
We kind of knew each other, had sort of seen each other around. It took us like almost 2 years, maybe longer, to even become Facebook friends though, because I'm super weird about adding people that I don't know in person as an actual Facebook friend. So we were in the same group, but we weren't actually friends until we finally decided to do a group costume. And then I was like, okay, we can be friends now. So
We
that's how we know
And
each other.
longer than what, a quarter of a mile together.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So then we decided we were allowed to be Facebook friends now.
After
So
2 years.
that's- Yeah. Yeah. So that's how we know each other.
So I know
You know
as-
Anna, right?
Yep, through our local running group here, the Chicago Area Runners Association. So we ran together. I don't know what year that was, Anna.
Yeah, I was trying, while you guys were talking, I was trying to do math and figure out if you have known Erin or me the longest. It's pretty close. But Susana was the group leader for my pace group, so she had to put up with me. She didn't get a choice.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to remember the year, but it was quite a years back as well.
yeah, we both of us, we do Chicago Marathon pretty much every year, and so
Mhm.
we trained together. It was one of those years.
Yep.
Cool.
And then
And
Anna
then-
started following my podcast.
Mhm.
We sort of follow each other on Instagram. And then when I was looking for people to listen to our podcast, because like networking was the only way, like, how do you get yourself out there?
Right.
She runs on coffee. So I was like, she'll run for coffee. And our podcast is called We'll Run For. So I pretty much followed anyone that had the words "will run for" in their name somewhere, or some sort of like, and she started listening. And so we started becoming like internet friends, Instagram friends. And then Anna got Maria to troll one of my co-hosts, Michael, on his birthday. And so she started following the podcast.
The Mouse Life partner. Yes, that's how.
I love that.
Yeah. So Anna decided to troll Michael, and then I was like, "Oh, I want in on this." And this was right after I had moved. Yeah, this was right after I had moved from Miami to Georgia. So so I was like, "I want in on this. What day are we doing this?" So I'm doing it. So we ran 0.8 miles.
That
Perfect.
that was my first ridiculous math, actually, before the Musketeers, because Michael said something about like how I had to run a ridiculously offensive amount of miles for his birthday. And
48.
so I borrowed my daughter's dry race board and got on Instagram and did some ridiculous math to show him that I needed to run less than a mile. I think it was 0.4 or something. Or something. And so Maria saw that video and she's like, "Oh, who are we trolling?" I go, "Well."
That's how it was. Then I started listening to the podcast, and loved it so much, and then started interacting with them, not really knowing who I was interacting with at the time, except for Erin, because Erin would always put Erin on there. And then after that, when I signed up for Dopey, and Anna was saying, how dare you sign up for Dopey when we were supposed to do it together. Then Susana reached out to me saying, let's troll Anna so she can register for Dopey.
Yeah.
And so that's how I met Susana. And then Erin got mixed in there, and then we all started trolling Anna, and then that's how
Yeah.
the four of us became.
We're trolls is basically how we bonded.
Which is amazing though, because on Instagram, like if anybody follows you guys, I love it because sometimes when I wake up in the morning, you guys all have each other tags, and then there's a whole bunch of pictures going back and forth, and it's just ridiculousness, and it's so funny and it's so fun to watch. Like you guys have like a natural, organic relationship online, and it's so cool to see right now, especially like running with you guys, like the way you guys interact and stuff together on the course and like before and after and stuff, just the love and the genuineness that you guys have grown for each other over the past few years. It's such a beautiful thing. And like I love social media because of that, because you can build a relationship so deep and connected, and then when you get together, it's like it booms, and it's like something that's just like you didn't know that you needed.
Yeah,
So-
it was my heart was happy when we all finally got together, because we had interacted online a lot and we had met each other individually. But once, because Erin did Goofy and the rest of us did Dopey. And so when she came in on Saturday, that's why I was like, yes, we're getting reinforcements. We're finally all together. I was so happy because we were finally all there. So.
Yeah.
When
Awesome.
was the first time that you guys all four were together, like in person?
The
Like,
meetup,
that was it. That was the meetup.
It was
right?
marathon.
Yeah.
the meetup, I think it was the day before.
Oh no,
that.
we saw each other at the expo for a hot second.
Yeah.
Okay. So coming from someone that didn't know you guys like in person before that either, I would have had no idea that you guys had just met in person for the first time.
Yeah. Because I had met Anna and Susana and I have known each other, but I had met Anna when I went to Chicago in September to do a half marathon. And she picked me up at the airport, having never met me, and let me stay at her house.
So cool.
On my phone, I wrote in real big
That's us
letters.
too.
Yeah, on my phone, I wrote in really big letters, "Stranger from the internet," and like held it like a sign, like when you're picking up people at the airport.
Where were you months ago? Because I had to pick up Linda and Stephanie, and I'd never met Stephanie Polina before. Like all of a sudden we became really good friends. And I met Linda literally for a blimp of a second, and I picked them up from the airport. My husband was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "It's totally fine. I know them from social media." And he was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Honey, it's totally
then-
different now. And he's a cop, so it's just like, oh my God, stranger danger to like the next. I don't know. I may have to bleep that out. I'm not sure.
I've been doing the strangers on the internet thing for like 5 or 6 years now. So like it's like old hat
Yeah.
to me. Like, oh, I'm gonna stay at a random stranger's house. No big deal.
Because now it's totally normal. It's 100% normal. You don't like social media is a completely different like playing field
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Well, fun fact, the way that I convinced Anna to do Dopey was like, you can stay with me. We had not met.
That's true.
But sold.
But she was like, all right, let's do this. Okay.
Well, we planned Princess together before any of us had ever met each other.
Yeah.
We're all just gonna figure out how to stay together for Princess.
Yeah, that's a commitment. Maria and I agreed to be roommates for Dopey and for us all to do Dopey together. And then before Dopey ever happened and we actually met, we had already planned Princess Weekend too.
I hope Dopey goes well.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Praying that there'll be some like holy water, got it all going on. Erin, side question real fast. So all three of you guys did the Dopey, and Erin, you did Goofy.
Yeah.
What did you do
Goofy.
during the 5K and the 10K while they were all ready?
Oh, I didn't even fly in until
Okay.
Friday. No, I guess I flew in Thursday night and then
Anna's like, I know the
wait.
answer to this.
oh
She kept going to every post that we
Oh, yeah.
posted and went, man.
We were not allowed to have fun until she arrived.
that started at Wine and Dine because I wasn't there and I was like, meh, this doesn't look that fun.
We're
It
not
wasn't fun at all. You missed absolutely nothing, Erin.
Well, you could have done what we did and woke up at 4 in the morning and 2 in the morning.
got up at
anyway
2 in
to
the
go
morning.
cheer.
And we got double the miles of all of our roommates
I
on
don't
both the
know.
5K and 10K.
I feel bad for Michael, who has to stay with Erin next year because they're both going to be miserable with each other.
True. It's gonna be awful. It's gonna be so bad.
So Erin runs like a gazillion miles a day. Dopey, she doesn't do dopey. It's not because of the miles. It's the
Yes.
lack of sleep. She's gonna
Yeah.
be grumpy.
Yeah. So like I would rather running 100 miles to me sounds more attractive than
getting up
waking up
for-
for 4 days in a row at 2:30 o'clock, 2 in the morning. Like I would
To
rather
me,
try
that
have-
kind of makes sense. Like you had made a comment in one of the podcasts that doing a marathon and then just to become an ultra marathon is like 5 extra miles. And I was like,
Yeah.
dude, that's like so doable. And so I sent it to Linda and she's like, what? She's like, okay, but sold.
Okay, my what reaction was because after marathon, she was like, I can never do that ever again. And then she's like, let's do an ultra.
It just escalates. I don't know. I like to, it's something about doing really, really hard things and pushing yourself
Yeah.
and realizing, you know what, I can do this. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm really
Mhm.
strong. And all of a sudden, you know, anyways, next question, guys. What is your favorite runDisney event? Or all of you can answer. Sorry, go ahead.
For me, it's marathon.
I've only done marathon weekends. So marathon
Marathon.
weekends.
I've actually done Princess, Marathon Weekend, and I did Wine and Dine. And to be honest, my favorite was Wine and Dine, but after doing Marathon Weekend, it's Marathon Weekend.
Yeah, for me, it's marathon weekend. It's a different vibe.
Mhm.
The other weekends are super fun, and I'm actually more relaxed because I know I don't have to do a marathon. But I don't know, it's a different feel. There's more, probably the anxiety and like excitement of doing the marathon at the end of it all. I just love it.
Yeah, that anxiety, that underlining anxiety, you can see in everybody's eyes the entire weekend. And it is just that fear of like, people are texting each other at 7. Are you asleep? Did you go to bed yet? You should be. It is. Or depending on
Did
who
you
your
drink
friends
your
are.
water?
Unless
drink
you're
your water?
Susanna. Susanna stays up and parties till all hours of the night, no matter what.
Really?
It's on another
People
level.
that way.
Train for
Susanna-
so
yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah, Susanna's you'll sleep when you're dead person.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true because in reality, like when you're sleeping in a different hotel with like all different situations and stuff, and you're just not used to anything. I mean, why bother sleeping? I don't
Do you
sleep very
think-
well.
Do you see how chill Susana looks right now? I'm pointing over there because that's where she is on my
That's
screen.
where she is for me too.
Same.
That's fine.
There you go, Susana.
Right.
That's how chill she always is. No sleep, still chill. Everyone's freaking out, still chill.
Right.
So if anyone is doing marathon during 2023 PM or DM Susanna, and she will give you the most relaxed like comments back, girl, you good.
Yeah, calm down.
And then she'll send you a picture of this. Get it. All right, you guys, next question. All right, this is a very serious question, and if you get this wrong, then we have to kick you off immediately.
Is it math?
Yes. I'm going for it.
Ready? Are you Team Star Wars or Team Marvel?
Oh, come on.
I'm getting kicked out.
I'm getting kicked out, I think.
Because I think everybody knows what my answer is. I
I
won't
would-
kick anyone out.
I don't
I
know.
will definitely like you way less.
We can see her poster behind you. Susana made the cut.
My whole office is Star Wars, and if you can see just
Oh,
a
you
smidgen
guys
of a
did-
pigeon, my lightsaber is right there.
Oh. I was gonna say, but you did
Oh,
the
and maybe
marathon.
Grogu. That smells too. That's fun.
You
Sorry.
did the marathon as Captain America theme, so like I wouldn't have.
Well, it
I
was,
wasn't 100% sure.
I was told I was not allowed to do Star Wars. That's how every single time we do a race, I immediately ask, can we do Star Wars? And everybody shuts me down. So I want to do Star Wars all the time.
For the record, I also love Star Wars. We did Star Wars at Wine and Dine.
Oh, we did for our 5K. We did. I was Kylo Ren and she was Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we
I
could
do really like Star Wars. I am definitely into the Star Wars stuff. I've watched all of it. I've watched, all the TV shows on Disney Plus. Like I'm definitely into it, but I'm definitely more Team Marvel.
I'm
Yeah.
just too
Bye.
tapped.
Bye, guys.
I'm working on something right now.
I know she's working on kicking me. She's working on kicking me off.
She's deleting you from Instagram.
Did you hear my booze? That was for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was very entertained by that.
Yeah, no, I actually, you'd be proud because I am Team Marvel, but I'm a hostage Star Wars fan because my whole family is into Star Wars.
Okay.
And so for marathon weekend on a 5K one year, because we all do the 5K together, we decided that we could do like a Star Wars family, like legit Star Wars family. So my husband was Darth Vader, I was Queen Amidala, and then the kids were Princess Leia and Luke.
Oh, how cute.
Love that. I might have to retalk my kids into a different 5K costume for the dopey next year.
Yeah, you do.
Right? Good
100
stuff.
million%. Because if I'm
We're
going
gonna
to be with you
throw-
guys.
They want to do Peter Pan. That's not good.
No, the Star Wars one's more fun.
Yes.
All right,
Maria,
Maria.
did you answer?
No. You're gonna kick me out. I'm Team Marvel all the way, even though my husband is Team Star Wars. And we are a family of Star Wars.
Divided family.
But Marvel just has so much of like, there's so much history in there with my family. Like when my husband and I started dating, Marvel came out, you know, like it's
Oh, that's cool.
kind of thing. My kids were born and they watch the movies and they're into it too now. So, you know, it's just kind of, there's a lot going on there with the superheroes and all that. So,
I mean,
uh,
also Captain America.
I mean, also that's
Period.
Not America's ass.
Captain America at Disneyland. Dot. That's
Yeah.
totally.
We're a house divided as well, though, because Michael thinks that Marvel is trash.
well,
Ooh.
Michael, that's the reason why we got a divorce. You let him.
I can tell that he's somewhere in the background of all those
Yeah.
Musketeers.
I see
He's
that,
not
Erin.
allowed to speak the word Marvel in my presence. I will get out of this meeting right now.
This has all been happening over the podcast stuff, like this podcast war between Anna and Maria and Michael. For like
I
a
love
year.
it. So with that, with the little stick right there, and you're like moving your arm, it literally looks like sometimes you have like a lightsaber, and I get super excited, and then I realize quickly it's not, and then I'm like, oh, that's right. It breaks my heart every time. So I just wanted to let you know.
I did pay the lightning lane prices so to make sure my family got into you know,
Rice,
Surprise.
Right.
this last
which
time that we
is so
went.
good. It's so good.
It's
And
so
of
good.
course, you know-
I will. Yeah. I mean, Star Wars Land in general, they did a really great immersive job with
Yes,
that
they
whole.
They did phenomenal.
Yeah.
I could talk hours on that, which I won't,
That's
because this is about
part
you
of the
guys.
reason- That's part of the reason I started watching Star Wars, because I went there and I was like, I feel like this is amazing, but I also feel like I'm missing so much.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
It was so funny.
And-
'Cause the first time I went, it was with a lot of girls who had never seen Star Wars. And so the PhotoPass photographer would tell us to pose. And you could so tell I was the only one who's seen the movie because of how we were posing.
That's amazing. We're gonna
Anna's
have to
sitting
show
there
that
like
photo.
this.
Hold your hand out.
Yeah. I was like this. And they were like,
That's amazing. I have a life-size Ray behind
of
my
course
laptop,
you
and she's phenomenal.
do.
And right here is Ray, and I have more
I
photos
saw
over there.
Grogu behind you.
I know, and I don't even like him. I mean, I got that as a gift, and it was very, very sweet. When she held,
Jana.
I saw Meow Meow Kitty. Oh, like
Oh, yeah.
Marvel. It's like the
He's come back.
cat, the Marvel, like the alien
Yes.
cats. So yay! I mean, we're working it in, right?
Susana, I know that you're all Star Wars, but what, like, do you like Marvel? I actually don't know if I know this
Do you
answer.
even like Marvel?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I like Marvel. I'm Team Cap.
Okay.
Team Cap.
Okay,
Oh.
why Team Captain? We're just going to talk about this from now on.
I'm Team
You are
Thor.
welcome, everybody.
I'm
Your team what?
Thor. Thor.
There's that meme that we always share where he's cracking up and he's, you know, grabbing.
Yeah.
He grabbed it, but of course, America's.
Yeah. He does have America's ass, but Thor also is pretty damn hot.
Yep.
He is.
God.
Susanna loves Loki.
Mm.
I do
Oh,
love
no.
Also
Loki.
Loki.
I love
No.
but
Wait,
between
who
Loki-
likes
yeah.
Loki the most?
well, maybe
Yeah.
her.
So
Maybe-
rude. So,
Okay, something you guys need to know about Kristen is that she is in love with Coulson, like Agent Coulson.
Oh.
that Loki kills, but Coulson never dies. Suck it,
Spoiler
Loki.
alert. No.
Coulson lives, and I have shirts to prove it. However, I am team Agents of Shield. That show is phenomenal, and I will watch it on repeat continuously. But I
On season 4.
absolutely hate. Like during Wine and Dine, when the girls were like, "We're gonna dress up like Loki for the half," and I was like, "I'm not." And they were like, "Well, we're gonna do Buppos," and I was like, "I'm in," but I still don't like Loki. And every day I dropped a GIF of Coulson, or like
We're
how
gonna
I
have to have
hated, or how I hated
after show
Loki.
conversation about this because I have some questions because I'm wondering. I have like after having seen a couple of the Disney Plus shows, I'm wondering whether they're going to write off Agents of Shield in the mythology because of what happened at the end of Hawkeye.
Didn't watch that yet.
I have to remember what happened at the end. I binge watched because sometimes when there's only like 6 episodes, you just like binge watch the entire thing, and then like it's a blur, and then you don't remember.
Yeah,
So
we'll
I'm
talk
right
about it.
there.
Well, after show, we'll do an after
We're gonna
show.
Yeah.
have to, yeah.
We can circle
No,
back.
no teasers.
I like Doctor
Just
Strange.
don't
Too.
forget. Huh?
All right.
Doctor Strange too.
Mm,
That's one of the movies that I haven't seen yet. I don't know.
gosh.
I know, but I do love Spider-Man. He's so cute. I want to like put him in my pocket. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay. Next question.
The next one actually is a serious one.
Oh, Buzzkill.
Sorry, guys. I gotta do it. What was the moment that you realized you were a runner and not just someone who runs?
That was deep, Linda.
You're welcome.
So I'll go first because I have an answer. So I've been running since high school. Never felt legit, and my mind has changed, so don't come at me. But I never felt. I kept telling, my whole life has been like saying I'll feel like a real runner when I do a marathon. And so I had told myself I'll get a tattoo of 26.2. Once I do a marathon, it would be this big deal. I'll feel like a full-on, full-fledged, legit runner. So then I did a marathon and still didn't feel like I was a legit runner. So I did another one and I did another one. And I don't remember, probably somewhere around 5 or more marathons, I finally went, this is stupid. I am a runner. And I just decided one day and then randomly went and got my tattoo and just declared it. But it's so dumb, like how we get in our heads about like if it's something that you have to earn. And I never felt that way about other people. It was always just a standard that I had for myself for some reason.
Right.
So it's
And
gone now.
It
I
took
think a
you
lot of us do.
5 marathons.
5 or 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did one and I was like, oh.
Right. And it
Horrible.
shouldn't take a marathon. Did you go outside and run today? You're a runner.
Yeah,
But for
exactly.
some reason, and that's how I feel about everyone. But for me, for some reason, I don't know if I just felt like I had to do a better job. I don't know. Until finally I realized I don't know what I'm waiting for. And so then I just decided.
Well, I'm glad that you decided that 6 marathons later.
And it's 100% like a mental game too. It's, you beat yourself up and you continuously feel like you have to be better and better and better. And the fact that you got up, whether it's like a 5K, 10K half, whether it's 1 mile, like you got up, you woke up in the morning and you were like, I got up and I walked.
Yeah.
Like, and I walked a mile or I ran a mile. Like that moment, that's the moment, the defining moment that you decided for yourself to do it.
I think it's all about like, when do you actually accept it? I had done a dopey in those marathons, and
I wish you knew us back then because I would
I
have
know,
kicked your
right?
ass.
And we would have loved you so much, Erin.
that's what I needed. I needed a kick in my behind.
And some love.
Well,
How
I
about
only
you,
kick
Carol?
ass because I love.
Yes, that's
Right,
very true.
Right. In a loving way.
How about
But
you?
no, that's why we ask though, because so many people have that like high standard for themselves, and it's a lie we tell ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
100%.
dumb, and I fully accept that it was dumb. I was dumb.
But the thing is, though, it wasn't dumb though, and I think that there's like a misconstruity about that. Like that's something that you needed to do to get to where you are today, and it helped create this journey of who you are. And so it's not dumb. I just think that it's something that like you had to go through, just like everybody has their own like running journeys, and just journeys just in general, you know. And it's this beautiful pathway. Sometimes it's a little bit longer than others, but like the fact that you did all of those things is just so amazing, like so amazing. I really
For
want
me,
to like
I-
clap for you and hug you.
Yeah, for me, I'd say
And Erin wants to kick your ass. So there's that.
I hated running in high school. So kudos to you, Anna. I hated running in high school. And it wasn't until I got out of high school that I actually started running, but I also hated running in the treadmill. So I found the love of running way into my 30s. But as far as considering myself a runner, I never really thought of it as far as me as a runner, but more finding the joy in running versus me putting the pressure on me. When I concentrated on time or something, I always put myself down. But as I started finding, I enjoyed taking pictures during my run. And I think at that point, considering myself a runner was out the door. It was more about enjoying what was around me. So
Mm-hmm.
that's all I gotta say.
I also hated running in high school.
Yes.
I danced and played ice hockey because those were the two things I could do without running.
Oh yeah.
I'm done with that. All right, the next question goes to Maria. Maria, how was it experiencing your first marathon, like running your first marathon? What was kind of like the thought process of going into it and like experiencing it, and then having these three amazing, lovely women around you to support you?
Okay, so realistically, when I signed up for Dopey, my thought process is, okay, well, this is another race. I've done all my races by myself, with the exception of Princess 2020, where around mile 6 or 7, I was struggling. And a friend that I had met the day before, Tabitha, we all know Tab runs late on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
She was also struggling, and we were kind of just, going back and forth, and we're seeing each other and saying hi. That was the first time ever that she looked at me, I looked at her and go, do you want to run together? Sure. And I was just kind of like, oh, thank God, somebody. But at the same time, I'm on the slower side. So I was just like, I'm going to hold her back or something in my head, all going through my head. But we ended up finishing together. We had a great time and we had some tears. Now for Dopey, I went in very, very nervous because I know these women are amazing and obviously have been running for a very long time, and they're very fast. Faster than me. Everybody's faster than me at this point. And when they were like, we're gonna run together, and basically just held me at gunpoint, I was just like, oh, okay. But in my head, I was just like, oh my God, these women are going to hate me by the end of this. Marathon weekend, the marathon ended up being a blur because I was just so much in my head, but they just kept me going, and they don't realize how much that they kept me going. I was ready. I went in with the expectation that I was going to either get on a bus or be swept. As much training as I did not feel prepared. So I was just like, I'm ready and it's okay. I'm okay if I get swept, or if I decide, you know what, I'm done. And with some of the pain that I was having that weekend, I was just ready. But they were just like, no, we're going to keep going. Tell your toe to shut up, So it was just like,
I'm such a good nurse. She goes, Anna, my toe really hurts. Tell your toe to shut up.
And like we said, Susana's super chill. She was just like, hey, what's up? She disappeared for like 20 minutes. And then when we finally see her, she had soda, she had snacks. And I was like, that's what you guys are doing, And they were just talking to each other the whole time. And I don't know if I came off like I looked upset or anything, but I was trying to stay focused, but I'll also, trying to chime in every once in a while, but I was just like, just one more mile, let's keep going, one more mile, so it was but it was also so much of a blur.
Yeah.
That is one of the reasons why I want to do it again, but then again, I don't want to do it again, and I'm trying to figure out how to do it again, and hopefully a little bit better trained, that's at least.
I think we all wish that.
Yeah.
Everybody goes in with that underlining, shoot, I should have trained more. Going off of that, how do you three feel, like what went into the thought process of like kind of trying to make her feel more comfortable or running with her? Because I know that we saw you guys a few times on the course. We saw you guys at the beginning. You guys were gracious enough to let us sit
on
like,
your
the little
blanket.
square with like everybody crowding around us, and we're like, can we sit with you guys? And you guys are like, sure, okay. Like, we'll just take this small little corner right here. We just were really nervous. And then seeing you guys at the end with all of us crying, watching you guys kind of like conquer the course together, going in and finishing so strong. It was such a beautiful thing. So how did you guys kind of like support her for her first marathon?
Well, I think that our goal was to keep Maria from thinking about anything. And I think even Michael had said to her, like, you don't have to worry about anything for the marathon. Just move your body forward, and these three ladies have your back the whole rest of the way. And that was ultimately our goal, was to make sure she didn't think about the balloon ladies, that she never had any idea how close or how far away they were from her, that anytime she got in her head, Anna and I started dancing like idiots or screaming songs into water bottle microphones. I don't really know. Susana went and got her popcorn and Coke and all kinds of other stuff. Like our whole goal was basically, don't make Maria think about anything, just get her to the finish line. And if we gotta watch the clock, we know that we're gonna have to move a little faster. Susana makes up a song called Expo Pace for us to sing.
Yeah.
What does that entail? Just question.
What is Expo Pace, guys?
I've seen that written a few times.
Wait, does Susana still remember the lyrics? They were so good.
Expo Pace. Running in the woods, doing my Expo Pace.
Expo Pace is basically the speed that you have to walk to make sure you get all the merchandise at the
Yeah.
Are you throwing arms in there too? Just
Yeah,
wondering.
we were. There's a video of us like doing Expo Pace.
Yeah, we're throwing arms in there, going as fast as we could when it was our the walk intervals.
Yeah, we kept telling her, don't try to run faster. Keep your comfortable running pace. Think of that as your relaxed, rest time. When you walk, that's where you make bank. So when you walk, make sure that walking counts. And so we're like, just make sure that you run comfortably and then you walk aggressively. And so when do you walk aggressively? It's when you're at the expo trying to get stuff. So
I like it. Our friends did that, but they called it mall walking.
You guys, we have to show you guys the photo, because the photos they caught it, and so they're all like the worst faces ever, and like they're so serious and like in it, and it is like. So Expo Pace and mall walkers. I feel like, is it mall walkers? What is it?
Mall walkers. You know, like the old ladies that walk the mall before it opens.
Yeah. You have to get your steps in, man. Right?
Which is basically me now. I used to go with my stroller on Sundays.
Well,
hey, that's how we train for marathon, girl.
One of the things that these girls did that they thought that I didn't notice was every time that somebody, stranger around us mentioned balloon ladies, they would start screaming. Randomly. They're just like, ah! Like, I already heard them. It's okay. But because they're so ridiculous about it, it's just like, okay, whatever. Let's just keep going,
Super subtle. But like what we would do is like whenever somebody was with Maria, two of us would sneak to the back for a second and check the pace to make, because we were watching the pace to make sure that we had comfort. Like we wanted that cushion so that we didn't have to be stressed. And so the first half especially, Erin had it on her phone. And so every once in a while, Susana and I would take turns kind of sneaking behind Maria and looking at the time to see how we were doing. And the first half, she did it faster than I think her usual pace, Maria did. And then she still had another half marathon after that. So yeah.
So we tracked the balloon ladies. So I always knew where they were. And I always knew that Maria was going fast enough because she was doing a sub 16 the entire time during that first half. So there was no way that they were going to be able to catch us without us having to slow down to like less than a 20-minute pace. And I knew that we were going to be able to get to Hollywood Studios before we had to do that. Or if we wanted to take our victory lap through Hollywood Studios and Epcot, I knew we would have the opportunity to do that. I don't think Maria knew she was going to have the opportunity to do that, but I just always kind of knew that people freak out about the balloon ladies so much, but you have to slow down quite a bit if you have more than a 20-minute cushion.
Right.
Been going underneath a sub 16.
I also wasn't allowed to look at my phone. Every time I pulled out my phone, they were like, "What are you doing? You don't need it. You have us."
You have us, and we'll take all the photos.
And I have no pictures on my phone that are mine that I took. Nothing.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, and even like, usually I had my watch, but even, I don't know what happened, but my watch and my phone weren't connecting. So I wasn't getting text messages. What I was getting was WhatsApp messages, but I tried to ignore them as much as possible unless my watch was going kind of crazy, and I would look, but I wasn't paying attention to anything. They told me, don't look at anything. I was just like, okay. So my phone was full battery charged by the end of the marathon. So, because I was not allowed to look at it.
We're like,
That's
we're
great.
delightful. What more could you possibly need?
That's so cool. That's like, you guys make me want to like run a marathon a whole bunch of times and then like, and then do that to somebody. Like I now have goals.
I don't ever want to run another marathon without running into you guys at the Gospel Ladies, though.
That
Gospel
too.
choir and
was
running into you guys and hugging Maria, like, and just sobbing together was one of my highlights of the whole weekend.
That's always
Seriously.
my favorite spot on the whole course. I know they put tons of characters. You run through the parks. The gospel choir at the end is my favorite part.
And they weren't there in 2019.
Yeah.
So I wasn't 100% sure if they were going to be back. So when we got there, I knew we were going to have to take a few minutes to dance around and celebrate.
I'm glad you did, because we saw you.
I know that's literally, sorry, blah, blah, blah. That was my favorite video that I took of the whole day. Cause as you guys were dancing, we came in, for anybody who doesn't know, cause I posted it, I think a few times, we came in and we danced with you guys for a few seconds. Linda and Maria were crying and I went over to Anna and we were just bawling. And it was just because Anna had given me advice, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. But I was trying to find like a photo and I was like, how perfect is like this photo of you guys though? Like, it makes me so happy. I'm trying to like not be in it so you guys can like see it. But this is seriously like the pure joy and excitement that this just like, I know I don't like stalk. I'm not a professional stalker. I was just like, oh, if I were to use a photo of theirs, and I was like, oh, where's Anna? And I was like, but this is just the pure excitement of like how much joy and like love you guys had at that moment. So, anyways, Linda, next question. Putting you on the spot, girl. It's number 7.
Okay, so who was the first one to come up with the Musketeer Mayhem? Which was our half marathon. I'm going back to half marathon now.
Yes.
That was our half
Yeah, we're
marathon
going back
costume.
because it's
Oh
fun.
boy. So it originated. Okay. So we all knew we were all doing marathon
Anna
weekends.
looks like a culprit.
Yes. So we all knew we were going to do marathon weekends together. And I was like, guys, we started talking about group costumes. I was super excited. I had this really cute idea that I'm not going to say on here because I still want to do my really cute idea.
But you'll tell us afterwards.
Sure. We had like we had the four of us, and we're like, I was like, oh, Anna knows a couple more people because she's an influencer than I do. She hates when we call her that.
Influencer,
So-
come back.
I was like, hey, can you just ask, like, you know, because I knew she was friends with Christy and Jordan and a couple other people. I was like, why don't you ask a couple of them and see whether they want to join so that we can round it out to 6 or 7, because depending on how we do it, we could do 6 or 7. She's like, sure. So she proceeded to ask like 7 or 8 people to fill those spots, and all of them said yes. So then all of a sudden we had all these people that I'm like, I don't really know. I guess they can be this. And they're like, well, I'll be this. And then it no longer made sense. And then more people start getting invited because people were like, well, I was planning to do a group costume with these people. Can I invite them? And so then all of a sudden they invited those people. And we started out with this group chat with like 7 or 8 of us. And then that grew to like 12. And then it grew to like 20. And then it grew to like 30. And then it had 35 at the end. And it went from, I just need 2 people to now we have 35 people in this group.
That
chat.
many people right behind you.
Yes. The picture behind you is us. It's, well, all of us. It's crazy.
In my defense, once the costume changed, there was no reason for me to not invite even more.
So
Yeah,
true.
somewhere around 20 people were like, I don't think that this costume idea is going to work because it doesn't make sense anymore. I was like, yeah, I know. Like,
Captain
for
Obvious.
God's sake.
Thanks.
So we
We're
joined
like-
in after. We joined after the idea had already changed because I
Okay.
didn't even know that there was a first idea. I just thought it was always Musketeer. So that was new to me.
Yeah,
I think I was probably the last person to join because I thought that it sounded crazy. And it gave me so much anxiety that there were so many people doing it that I was like, oh my God, like this is like, I like nice and neat things. And this was not nice and neat. This is like explosion to like the exponential power that I was like, there's so many people. But I'm literally the best decision I ever made because that's my
If you
favorite
s-
half marathon ever.
If you see my name on anywhere, nice and neat is not what you're gonna get.
Noted.
I'm
Noted.
pretty sure that when Erin finally does the idea for the costume, the original one, I'm not allowed to be in it.
I've banned Anna. She's not allowed.
Influencer.
Yeah, so that was how it was born.
Yeah.
And it's grown since then. You know, I think around 20, like I said, we had decided there was no way that the original idea was going to work.
Yeah.
Somebody suggested the Mouseketeers because it kind of revolved around the Mickey idea that I had because Mickey was involved in it. So once
see,
that
Mo-
happens.
Plus Musketeers is easy because there's no limit, right? It's a
Yeah.
simple costume and you can just keep adding.
Plus,
Right.
plus,
Right.
plus, let's, all take into consideration that when the announcers, they see you crossing that finish line, they say your name.
Yes.
That's
That
true.
seriously,
so
that
cool.
was so genius. So genius. Because there's
And-
nothing better than like running and then having like people cheer for you and then saying your name. You're like, oh, you know me? And then you quickly forget that you have your name on your chest. But it's like the perfect thing because it gives you that much more motivation to continue to push hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I did that so many times because I know a lot of people that live in Orlando or like that work for Disney. So a lot of times I'd be like, oh, is that someone I'm supposed to know? Oh, my name's on the shirt. Okay, name's on the shirt. Because it wasn't just the announcers, it was like random
Everybody.
water
Yeah.
volunteers or like people just like spectating.
Anna or Linda, we're not as popular as Anna is because she's an influencer.
I know. I got to get to that.
We'll get there one
Well,
day.
when you do any of the other, like the majors, like New York City, that was like one of the biggest pieces of advice that I got was put your name on your shirt, because then when you're running and there's 2 million spectators, everyone screams your name. And it's true. I have never heard my name so much in my entire life as when I ran New York City Marathon.
Yeah, that's
That's so
It's
cool.
really fun.
that's true. When I run Chicago, I always have my name on the shirt. I think the last year when I ran with Susana was the first time that I didn't because I was hanging out with Susana. But I usually run the whole marathon without the headset on, or at least just one ear, so that I can hear the crowd on my other ear, and then it's just interacting with the crowd because it's people the whole time.
Yeah.
Cool.
You make me have FOMO for Chicago, and I've never wanted to run Chicago ever. But it sounds amazing the way that you describe it. What was kind of like the big difference? So you guys had like 35 people running all together for the half marathon, but then quickly for the full marathon, it was just for like you four. How did you guys decide that it was just going to be you four? And what was kind of like the biggest differences you noticed between like the half and the full?
Oh, I think we all wanted to get our socializing out of the way during the half. Like we wanted to take in the crowd and the interacting with people and socializing and all of that, and really like get to see people and see friends and hang out. Marathon was all business. We obviously wanted to have fun, but we had a plan. It was to get there super early, which I know at least Susana and Erin, they don't usually get there super early, but we were in the front of the corral. We were focused. We had a plan. I talked to Erin briefly the day before about how we were going to tackle the marathon to make sure we were on the same page. So we didn't. You two and Stephanie were the only people that I talked to before the marathon, because I got off the bus and went straight to the corral and then purposely didn't talk to anyone because I wanted to make sure that the focus was Maria and the four of us getting through it.
Yeah, we didn't want to offend anyone. I feel like we were very like we weren't trying to be standoffish for the marathon. We just knew that we had a plan, and we just wanted to make sure that plan got executed to the best of its ability. And so part of that plan was to make sure that we were at the very front of the corral, which kind of meant that we gave up the socialization of meeting people at the start line. Was no, we're on a mission to make sure we are as far up as we possibly can to give ourselves the best cushion we can for the marathon.
Yeah.
So
because the balloon ladies came within 27 minutes after we all crossed the finish or crossed the first part. It was a very, very fast.
Disney's really efficient at starting people off the gates now.
They used to not
Marathon
be.
was a little crazy.
Yeah, marathon. I mean, there used to be a nice cushion, and now it's a little sad because even if you weren't stressed like we were about like time, like you used to be able to have a lot more fun on the course because you could ride a ride or you could do those kinds of things. But now, like with the balloon ladies starting so fast, there's a possibility of that, even if you are one of the faster people.
Yeah. I had that thought. I was like, how did people ever get off the course and ride Everest during this? Like, how did they even do that?
Because the balloon ladies didn't start until like an hour and a half after you.
Can you imagine? I would do like somersaults.
Like if you were in the first crowds, I mean, there were times that it would take over an hour before the balloon ladies would start behind you.
Yeah, I missed that.
It came in at the wrong time.
I used to have tons of cushion because the proof of time was also different. Yeah. So I had the proof of time just barely, but I had the proof of time. So it was even more cushion. And now it's a very aggressive proof of time. Plus the groups are larger and they're very quick at releasing everyone. I didn't feel like we were crowded on the course, so I don't really have a problem with how it was done, but it's just less cushion.
Yeah.
I think too, that morning, I think everybody was kind of standoffish just in general. I think everybody, and I don't even think that it was like being mean or anything. Everybody just wanted to make sure that they did what they needed to do to complete it. But I do
we did the
same
thing.
Yeah. I was like, I think somebody came, one of our friends came over to say hi, and instead of me saying hi, I was like, you can't sit here. I like straight in her face. I was like, we're not even supposed to be here. You can't sit here with us. And I was like,
we felt
but I
so bad.
Texting her back, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I think you were coming to just say hi. And like, I was really mean. So I'm very sorry. It was very not nice. So I don't think that you guys were mean. We were mean, maybe, possibly. But I remember sitting there with you guys, and I remember looking at you, Anna, and I don't know if you could see the sheer terror in my face or not, but there was definitely sheer terror because I like my outfit didn't come together. I was wearing a completely different outfit. I hadn't slept the entire night. Like I was crying to Linda at like poor thing at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night and like trying to
Gotta
not wake
knock
up
on my
like our
door.
other seven roommates. Like it was really, really rough. And so going into the marathon, I feel like you have to be cool, calm, and collected. And I was none of those. And I was like, I had a bagel in my pocket. That's like all I remember. And I remember looking at you and being like, do you have any piece of advice at all? Like, I just need anything because I know that you've done this before. And you looked at me and you were like, embrace every single moment. This you will never get your first race back. You'll never get your first like either 5K, 10K full, half, like 15K, whatever it is, like whether your first live race or anything, you won't get those moments back. And that literally carried me through the entire thing because instead of me counting forward, because you know how sometimes people are like, oh, I got stuck between mile like 15 and 18 or 16 and 19 and 20 and stuff. I counted backwards for me and Linda. And I was like, I don't really care if you need this or not, but I need it. And we passed mile 1 and I was like, Linda, we're never going to see that mile 1 again. 25 to go. Let's do this. And I kept on counting back like that so that we never had that hurdle. And it was because of you that was like in my head. And I was just like, Linda, we're never going to see that tree again. I mean, some of the things got like a little bit ridiculous or whatever, you know,
really
but she's
did.
like, that's true. But it kept her in the moment too. And it kept us appreciating every single thing because we didn't have anybody that had done it before that like we
And
really
you didn't tell me those exact words of what Anna said until we were hitting the boardwalk. And
What did I tell you?
remember exactly
remember what I
what she
told you.
said. It was
okay.
when I was starting to get into that. I forget what mile the boardwalk is, but I was starting to like get into my head mentally about maybe not finishing. And I never voiced those words, but I feel like as my other person, you could tell that was happening because you were like, just embrace every moment. Like, we're never going to get to run the boardwalk on our first marathon, like ever again. And like, you kind of said that to me. And then I just started bawling and I was like, let's go.
We got this.
I was singing the Rocky theme.
I
in
couldn't
my
remember
head,
what was
you know.
the E word. What is it called? Oh my gosh. Oh, also, if you move your arms really fast, it tells you that you did a great job. So there's that. I am not cheating in any of the competitions. I just moved it very slightly. You all know that I run. But I was like, it's shaking. What's happening? Expo arms.
Yes, Expo
Small
take.
walkers. I also feel like you could be one of those like hot robots. You're like, okay, anyways, that's who had the next question. Was it you or me? That was
It was me.
so
So we're getting away from the serious again and we're going back to a fun one. We kind of talked about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm on season 4. I'm watching it every single night before bed and going to sleep at 2 a.m. Therefore, my dreams have been full of superpowers. So I had a dream last night. My son was like super fast. Like we had superpowers. I want to know what your superpower would be if you could choose one.
Teleportation.
Oh, like your husband could give me a piece of pizza?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I want to travel and see the world and I don't want to fly because I'm afraid of heights. So teleportation is my next best option.
So nobody listened to this before you go into Princess. Because a lot of people are scared of heights and then that just kicks it in. Officially scared to fly again. Thanks. Just kidding.
I like that reasoning.
Yeah. Anna?
Oh, I would love to fly just because of the ability to fly. But if it was for legit superhero reasons, then it would have to be strength because if I fly, but I have my regular strength, I'm not getting very far.
Oh, see, I didn't get that far. I didn't think about those kind of things. Like, I don't want to actually be a superhero. I just want to be able to be like, oh, I want to go run on this mountain. I'm going to teleport there.
Susanna?
Making things appear.
Oh, fun.
So if I kind of like the genie, if I want to wish for a plane, it's right there. If I want to wish for a tequila, it's right there.
Or
Planes
a
and
tequila
tequila.
on the plane.
Yes.
Yes. Love it. Maria?
Maybe mind control.
Ooh.
Oh.
I already have a thing with having to be everything in control of everything. So you might as well just, like just do it the right way the first time I tell you.
So when we all sign up for Dopey next year, it's because she mind controlled us.
Well,
That's
apparently
why I signed up this year. That's how I got into this year. So
true. Maybe I already have it.
Dang it. Okay. Do you guys fangirl over anybody? Like anybody like on Instagram or anybody that you've met, like YouTubers, podcasters, like anything like that have like you've kind of gotten to know on social media, and then all of a sudden you got to see them in real life, and then you're just kind of like, oh my gosh, like, because I feel like Run Disney community is definitely like it's a different breed of people. Like it's like its own family, and you get to know people and stuff, and it's just like little by little you meet people, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool, like I met that person, and then like you tell your friends, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, because everybody follows that person. So like
I understand that, because I feel like I've seen your name kind of like all around the Run Disney community forever, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, like I know her from like Instagram, and people like talk about her, like I know who she is. But like or like, I mean, I've gotten it a couple times now being on the podcast, which is really weird for me sometimes, because like we were in the airport in Philadelphia airport, and this person stops me when like we're at the baggage area to get our luggage, and someone's like, this is going to be really weird. I was like, yeah. He's like, are you on a podcast? I was like, yes. And like, so he knew who I was. So it's like things like that are weird. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I kind of feel that way about a lot of these people though. Like when I met Susana, because I knew her from the Run group, I was like, oh, I'm meeting her in real life. With all my soul, Christy was one of those people that I was like, oh, she's everywhere. I love her. She's so bright and sunshiny. And I was like, I didn't know that her personality would actually fit with mine, because she seems so sunshiny and I'm an a-hole. So
She's amazing. I had that feeling with her too. I had that with Maria. I remember being behind Maria at a meetup, and I did not say hi, and I was like afraid to introduce myself. And then like 2 weeks after, I like sent her a message on Instagram, and I was like, I don't know if you saw me, but I was right behind you and I didn't say hi. And she was like, girl, say hi next time.
Also, sidebar really fast, Erin, I just listened to the podcast too with Christy, and I like her favorite curse word, because good people can curse too.
Yeah, that's right.
We need to like proclaim that. It is a normal thing, y'all. You can be a nice, kind person and still have a mouth of a trailer, or a sailor, or a trailer, whatever.
Sailor and or trucker. You just pushed them together.
I tend to do that.
my kids call it mom words.
That's awesome. Maria, what about you?
Well, believe it or not, I'm very, very shy. Even though it doesn't come off that way, I am. So whenever there's like, oh, a meetup, and it's like, oh, Maria, you're going? Yeah. Internally, I'm like, oh my God. I'm just like, oh my God, these people are just they're gonna think I'm annoying. Maybe I am annoying. Am I annoying? I'm annoying. I definitely fangirled when I met Anna for the first time at Wine and Dine at the Insta Run Club meetup. I was just like, oh my God, there's the Anna. I'm gonna wait a little bit to say hi. And then when I met Erin, also the same thing. Erin and Michael and Diane and Tom, the whole people from the podcast, they're like, you don't want to meet us. We're not great people. Don't ever meet your heroes. That was Tom.
Normal people. I don't know. It's so weird.
I was telling my husband, oh my God, what am I doing? I took him with me. I'll go, let's just turn around. Let's not go. And he was like, shut up, let's go. And then I met them, and then I was like, oh my God, it's them. And then immediately after I met Susana, and I think I let out the biggest scream in that hotel, and I was so embarrassed. And then I was just like, I love her. And then when I met you, Kristen, I was just like, oh my God, it's Kristen.
I feel like I look like how Erin is. I'm like, me? What?
Just everybody in general. I was just like, I can't believe it. All these people are here. I know them. And then somebody told me at the Insta Run Club meetup for Wine and Dine, it was like, oh my God, there's Fat Ass. There's running Fat Ass right there. Yell out his name. You said you're gonna yell out his name. I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, I'll do it together. I was like, okay, well, if we all do it together, and then we all had to scream out running fat ass, you know?
But also, best name ever.
He's another fun one to follow. It was that Insta Run Club meeting that I was standing behind you, Maria. Like I literally just could have done this and I would have touched you, but I was afraid to say hi.
Woohoo, big seven lot. What about you, Susanna?
I would agree with Maria. When I saw her at Space Ghost, I think we both reached out to, give each other big hugs. So I was very happy and delighted to meet her. So I kind of fangirled her. Yeah, but I'm sorry, ladies, Erin and Anna. I knew you, so I can't say that for you all.
So rude. They are unfollowing you until you become a fan of them, and then they'll rehire you as a friend.
But I love them anyways. But as far as fangirling, I probably would say Meb.
Oh, yeah.
As far as that goes, he was a big on Rock and Roll Series, so he came to Chicago, and I saw him at the VIP tent, and I was like, oh my God, it's Meb. So
Yeah, cool.
I walked up to him. He was like, okay. Then I ran into him at New York again, and I tapped him on the shoulder. I was like, can we take a selfie? Just very relaxed. He's like, yes, okay.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I fangirl some like famous runners as well, like some of the elites, like Mike Wardian's like a big one especially because he's in both the road racing and the trail racing, which I'm super into trail racing scene. There's some people like Courtney Dauwalter, who is like the ultimate ultra marathoner to me. She started as an adult and now she like wins 250 milers and like outright, like she's just like the most amazing kick-ass woman in the entire world, and shows that anything is possible. Like you put your mind and your body and your soul into it and you can do anything, including beating boys out in like they have backyard races where like it's last man standing, and like she is as good, if not better than the men. So
That is
there you go.
freaking so cool.
Yeah, so I definitely fangirl over a lot of like ultra runners and stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Also, I just noticed your shirt.
Oh, that I have my F-bomb shirt on?
Love it.
Just ordered it today.
And what about you, Anna?
I don't do social media right. I don't know how many people I follow. I don't know how many people follow me. To me, like if I interact with people on social media, we're besties. And so I tend to, when I see people, it's not necessarily fangirling. It's just like super excited because, oh my gosh, we're friends.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I kind of skipped the whole awkward, we've never met before, like agree. I just like best friend. And so I don't know, for like, it's funny, like when we went to that Insta Run Club, the meetup for Wine and Dine, the girls that I had been hanging out with had other commitments, and some of them were tired. The weather was terrible, so they ended up not going. Yeah, so I ended up going by myself. So I'm going, and it's all a bunch of people I never met before. And the girls that I had been hanging out with were all shorter than me, and I didn't realize that all these people that I haven't met before were all thinking I'm a giant. So I walked in, and I kid you not, people recognize me, and I recognize them back. And the first thing they all shout is, "You're regular." I go, "What?
What do you mean I'm regular?
How dare you?"
We just had this conversation because Anna like is so much taller than the three of us. So in all of our pictures with the four of us, she looks like this giant.
Yeah.
Anna, how tall are you?
I'm 5'6". I'm 5'6".
So it's like normal height for a woman, no?
Right?
Or is it like 5'4"?
We're all
So-
short.
I'm tiny. I'm 5 feet.
Yeah.
5'1"
Linda's
on a
short
good
too.
day. Yeah.
We're hanging because every time I go to Disney, like most of the pictures, I look like a freaking giant. So
Just stand next to me. I'm
In my
abnormally
head-
tall.
In my head,
You're
all
taller
of
than
my
me.
friends, like when I meet my internet people, in my head, you're all the same age and same height as me. So when I meet you and that
Yeah.
differs, I was like, oh, okay.
100%. 100%. I agree with you. Yeah.
I had one person, I mean, almost everybody tells me, oh yeah, you're about the height I imagined you would be. But I had one person tell me, oh, you're shorter than I imagined. I was like, hey man.
And you're meaner. Rude. Oh, that's so funny. I'm 5'9" and I'm used to being really tall. No, besides Shelly, and Shelly is really, really tall from Mr. Run Club. She's really, really tall. And so is kind of Sarah. They're both just Shelly's really, really tall though.
Yeah.
She's the only one that I'm kind of like, oh, okay. I think she possibly is taller than me. I think she's like 5'10".
Shelly and I did the turkey trot for Thanksgiving, and she walked the whole thing. But again, she's tall. I say, man, you're this Amazonian like goddess, and she just, her strides were keeping me on pace. She was walking. I was just like wait for me, my little legs.
Get your expo arms out and legs.
Yeah. I was just like, but thank you, because she did the 5K and I did the 10K. So I was just like, but thank you because you helped me get through, the first half. Thank you.
Oh, that's so fun. All right, Linda, next question.
The next one was, who inspires you? And that could be anyone. That could be people in your family, people in the running community, yourself even.
For
say
me,
Go ahead.
oh, for me, it's my kids and my husband. One of the reasons I started running was because my husband got really sick about 4 or 5 years ago. But because he was so sick, it caused me anxiety and panic attacks and stuff that I was just like, I need to do something, because if something happens to me, my family's not going to be okay. So I started running and walking for myself, but for them really, so that I could still be around for them in the future. And we started out together, all 4 of us, but eventually they were just like, we're done with this. And my husband won't do more than a 5K. I've tried to convince him to do other races, longer distances, but he refuses. I've even, there's a race in Miami that's the Rock and Rib Run. You get ribs and beer at the end of the race.
Oh, what?
It's a
That's
10K.
kind of amazing.
Yeah.
It's
We
a
have friends that
10K.
do
He's
that.
just like, no. He's just like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's a 10K. So I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're my reason, and my family, my sisters, my parents, they all think I'm a little bit crazy also, but they're like, we're super proud of you for being crazy enough to go after these big goals that nobody in my family would do.
Love it.
Susanna, what were you going to say?
I say everybody inspires me. Everybody inspires me in different ways. So I find inspiration even when I lose it, and I re-find it through a lot of the runners. So I think the community itself is inspiring.
Cool.
Susanna stole my answer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ditto.
Way to go, Susanna.
No.
That was my answer too.
No, but I just to jump off of that. Yes. For me, it is the community. And I will say that doing the podcast, I think, is the one thing that brought that out even more for me, was getting to watch all of our listeners. We have this segment called the Goal Getters, and everyone kind of submits what they're doing for the week. When they crush their goals, when they reach their, what they want to be doing, when they run a fast 5K, or they get a PR, or they run their first marathon, and we're able to cheer them on. It's so inspiring. And I just love that. And I love when, as you guys talked about earlier, when someone who didn't think that they were a runner all of a sudden has that aha moment, and we're like part of that. We're like, if you're moving your body forward, you're a runner. So just embrace that. And so I just love watching the community.
I'm like trying to not cry.
I know.
Because that is so that's literally like, I know, Anna, you got to answer too, but like that's why I think the Run Disney community is so special and beautiful because you have a whole bunch of people who just and this, I think too, because of COVID and stuff, everyone was just stuck inside and you couldn't do anything except get to know people and to cheer each other on. Like, Anna, oh my God, you went outside and you did this, like freaking amazing. Tell me what you're going to do tomorrow so that I can cheer for you. Maria, what did you do? Let me go cheer for you. And then you get to see those people in real life, like after you've gotten to know them and gone through life and death and so many experiences together that brought you so much closer together. And then watching them crush their goals is like, you just want them to be happy and to succeed in anything that they do. And it is such a beautiful, fulfilling, like
Mhm.
thing to watch. Sorry.
Mhm.
So I just got really excited for your crisis answers.
No, it's such a different environment compared to like people in other different communities. The running community tends to be so supportive, and like people are genuinely happy for other people reaching their goals that are in no way benefiting me necessarily, but I'm like legitimately happy. It puts me in a better mood.
Mhm.
So I love the community aspect of it. And on a more personal note for me, it's my kids, they also run. I always tell my kids, as long as they're active, their hobby doesn't have to be the same as mine. So they don't have to run, but they love to go out and run together, especially races. And to me, it's so much fun because when we are out running, they're away from electronics. And so you hit a mile and their guards are down. And so they start opening up a lot more. They talk about like things that I would never even think to ask about. So I like going out and running with the kids just because I know that I'm going to learn something else about them. They're going to open up about something different. So it's been good for that. It's a good way to put away all the electronics and just enjoy what we're seeing and talking about whatever the kids want to talk about. So.
And now I'm trying not to cry. My 4-year-old is doing her first race with me. She's going to earn her first medal with me next weekend. So I'm like,
Aw.
just thinking about like my mind just like fast forwarded 10 years. Like, are we still going to do this when she's 14? Like,
Whereas my son just hit 14 and I'm like, that's great parental advice. Like,
yes, I especially when they're starting, enjoy every second, because in my case, my kids each started when they were 5. So now my son is 15 and he is at least twice as fast as me per mile. So now we don't run together because I can't keep up.
you're all, bye, honey. You're so
Yeah.
cute. I love you,
Yeah, so
pumpkin.
we used to like I used to slow down. It's been fun to watch because I used to slow down for him so that we could do a 5K together. And then it got to a point where for several years we were right at the same pace. And so then we would do them together. And then my daughter started running. So then I would slow down with her and he would run his pace. And now, even if my daughter is not running or if she's running with my husband, my son looks at me at the start and he goes, I'm going to crush you. And then he's like 20 minutes and he's done. And I still have a ways to go. So he's at the finish line waiting and cheering for me, which is kind of fun to watch. And I love watching
that.
kids run by themselves too. So yeah.
Mine are
That's so
4 and
awesome.
6. So we're just getting into that.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Um,
It's awesome.
Mine don't want anything to do with running.
I know my son's like, no. I'm like, cool story. But I'm gonna start and be like, I signed us up for a 5K.
Well, mine
They'll be
only
like-
like it. Mine only like it because they see me do Run Disney. So they think that every time we run, they get to wear a costume. Like she's so excited to dress up like Merida and I'm going to be the bear. So like, that's what she's
Which will be
looking at.
phenomenal.
That's
by
what
the
she's
way.
looking forward to. So I'm like, whatever, we can Run Disney together.
Just not on the weekends that we're rooming. No, just kidding. No children allowed on adult trips.
Oh, no,
Period,
no,
everybody
no.
went to
They're running the 5K with Dopey. And then my parents are local. They are taking them after that for the rest of the weekend.
Sayonara. Next question. And sorry, Erin. Anna Maria and Susanna, well, how did it feel coming back to Wine and Dine? Like when it finally like opened up and being like the first race back after like 20 months?
I didn't run Wine and Dine, so I'm out.
Just kidding. So I'm a horrible person and I didn't catch on to everything. Cool story. Anna and Maria, go for it.
I didn't run Wine and Dine. I was there
Did
for
you
the
come?
weekend.
You went.
I went.
Okay,
Because
so
it
cool
was
story.
weekend.
We're gonna try and edit out all of this unless I can't figure out how to do it, and then this is gonna be part of it, and it's gonna be mortifying, and it's awesome. Comment below if this would be an embarrassing moment for you, because I vote yes. Cool. Comment below if you would like to happen to do. Anyways, Anna, new question. How did it feel like coming back to Wine and Dine?
To me, it was awesome, especially because of the theme. It was villains themed, and I swear that's why God put me in this green earth. It was for me to do villain things, and so I was just so happy. I told Susana once at some point that I didn't know if I could pull off Princess Weekend because Villains Weekend was like, that's my jam. So it was fun. It was just fun to have runDisney back, to finally meet so many people that we met over the pandemic online and actually see them in person. And plus I got to dress up as a bunch of villains, including Isma, which I didn't think would ever be a theme for a race because it's the most underrated Disney movie ever. But she's my favorite, so it was fun.
All right, and then for everybody on the screen, how did it feel like coming back to Marathon Weekend? Because after 20-something months of not doing any runDisney, and you guys have all been very active in runDisney community, how did it feel? Everyone's still bitter at me. Sorry, just kidding.
No, I mean, it just felt very surreal, but also it was just kind of like, it was a sigh of relief because, there were still people saying, oh, maybe it's not going to happen. And, and you try to be like, it's going to happen. But in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, there's always that possibility. There's always that slight chance that something can go wrong. The world can explode and, and it doesn't come back. But it was very just awesome. That's all I can say. It was just awesome. And to see everybody and to just, hear that 3, 2, 1, go, it was just like,
and the fireworks.
Yeah.
Caution runners. It's like all I ever hear in my head.
I even miss that guy.
What about you two?
Same thing. I mean, for me, Marathon Weekend is like, I don't know, the ultimate fun run for me, like all the time. Like the reason why I do. So like, I am a very I have races for myself where I'm going to PR or I'm going to run really stupid distances or I'm going to do this or I have goals. And then I have runs that are like, I'm going to pet every dog and drink every drink. runDisney for me is like the ultimate fun run where I'm going to stop for the characters and be with friends. And I'm not going to care about pace. I don't care if it's like a 7.5 hour, 8 hour marathon. I don't care if it's like a 4 hour half marathon. Like it's going to be the best time in the world. And so coming back to that and knowing that that's what this race represents for me, I just was so overwhelmingly excited, like leading up to it. I could not believe it was back finally after all this time. So yeah, it was great.
It's awesome. Susana?
I'm going to have to piggyback with Erin. I was very happy, ecstatic, joyous, so many words to be actually at Disney running in person. The year before I did the virtual Dopey at Disney, and although the community was still there, the local community that came out, and we had others that still did their virtual runs there. It was great to have the support as virtually there, but being back to seeing friends and getting to be with characters. I wasn't sure what to expect, whether we were going to have characters. So I was kind of watching Anna to see what Wine and Dine did, just to see how that would affect the marathon weekend. But I was so happy to actually have, that they had the characters there. So we maximized everything. Time wasn't, and it's never a time thing with marathon weekend, but it's maximizing fun.
That's awesome. I love it.
As the Mouseketeers said, we PR and fun.
Yes.
Those signs are genius. All right, Linda, last question for you, and then I've got one more, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay, so you're prepping for a marathon. Is there any advice that you would purposely not tell someone who's never done a marathon before?
Oh, that was such a good one. I forgot about that one. I was like, wait, you're asking the question that I'm supposed to ask, and then you asked that one, and I was like, twist, plot twist. We're good.
Shoot, I have to think about it. I don't think I would tell them how hard it is. Because, I don't know, like after I feel like Erin and Susana are in a different fitness class than I am. And now it's like my next goal. No, I'm serious. Shut up, Erin. Because to me, if somebody says, hey, do you want to do a half marathon tomorrow? Sure, because I keep myself half marathon ready. I didn't know it was possible until I got to really know Erin and Susana. You can be at that comfort level for a marathon. Susana at a marathon, she's just like, sure. So the Chicago Marathon, when we did it, it was the most like relaxed I had been, because I told her, like, I think it was mile, I don't know, 22, 23, somewhere in there. I was just like, it was hotter than I wanted it to be. And I've never gotten to a point where I get to mile 20 or 21 and I'm like, oh, this is great. I wish there was another 20. No, I don't. Like, I'm ready to be done.
I mean, I don't think any of us ever think that.
Well, yes, I know, but you guys are, I don't know, you guys are more, you're fit to the point where I don't feel like you're struggling as much. And so now that's my goal, because there's a difference between, because I see people comment, they message me a lot with like, oh my gosh, I really want to do a marathon. You have so much fun. There's a difference between training to finish a marathon and training to have fun throughout the marathon. And so you have to respect that mileage. And so I'm somewhere in between where I know I can finish and be comfortable, but if I want to have fun and really enjoy the process, I need to train for that. And because it is uncomfortable, it's doable, but it's unpleasant to take on a marathon. And so if I was talking to somebody who's never done one, I would say just trust the training, and I wouldn't focus on my own struggles.
Can you repeat the question again? Because it was like, what would you not tell them?
Yeah, like, is there any sort of like information that happens that you wouldn't tell them?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I definitely wouldn't tell them about how mile 18 to like mile 22 are like just about the dumbest miles you'll ever do in your entire life.
Unless you count backwards.
Because
Unless
you're
you count
not
backwards.
quite, because you're not quite like, you're far enough away at 18 that it's like, oh my God, I have all this distance to go, but you're not close enough to the end. Like once you get to mile 22, you're sort of at like the point where you're like, okay, the next few miles are doable. Like you're not like, there's that like point. So like those miles in between, I think are always some of the worst miles for me. And I remember, I don't know, however many marathons I was doing. I do remember the first time I ever got to like mile 20 and was like, oh my God, like I passed the mark where I always hate it. Like 18, I would look at I would just know that I was at 18 because I was like, I feel like crap and this sucks and this is stupid and I need this to be over. So I would not tell them about mile 18 to mile 22.
Thank you, because that
Blackout.
was
Just
exactly
blackout.
that was what I was thinking when I was trying to form the question. I was like, how do I word this? But in my head, I was like, mile 20. I wouldn't tell them about mile 20.
For me, it's hard to say anything because everybody is different. So
Yeah, true.
my struggles are not their struggles. We don't train the same way. I mean, even though Anna and I train together, doesn't mean that we have the same. So I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer there for me.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to gauge what a person's mentality would be, because I would agree miles 18 to 22 were hard, but for me now, with that many miles into training, I've overcome that mentality. There are
Yeah.
there are marathons that would be struggling, but it would be probably because I've focused too much versus just enjoying it. And I find it hard now to say anything because everybody's different for me. So I don't have.
Talking about a first time marathoner though, right? When you ask that question, like if someone was running their
Yeah.
first marathon.
Yeah.
They're like wanting to sign up and you're like, if I say this, it's going to blow the whole thing. So don't say that thing.
Well, that's the thing. So I've come across many first timers and it's hard to tell them something because I kind of pre-impose myself on their training.
Yeah, that's true.
So the thing is, when I thought that, I would provide advice, and then they crushed it and they could have done an ultra. So it's kind of hard to, provide.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But
Maria's shaking her head.
What
I
is
wish nobody
happening?
told me anything and just signed me up and I just went. I'm just kidding.
No, basically, if you feel like I wouldn't tell somebody don't do it. If
I
you're
like
telling
that
me,
answer.
oh, I'm thinking about doing it, I'm gonna tell you to do it. Even though I was miserable throughout training or anything, I'm gonna tell you to do it. If you're telling me I'm gonna do dopey for the first time, I'm gonna tell you to do it. I'm not gonna tell you the parts where the training is gonna be 6 months long and it's like a part-time job, a full-time job. Or that sometimes, that peanut butter sandwich that you ate last night, yeah, it's gonna come and bother you during your long run. I'm not gonna tell you none of that stuff because you're gonna learn as you go through it. So I mean, yeah, for everybody who wants to do dopey, just do it. It's fun.
I would say
You heard it here.
that
But not 2023.
these girls here, there is not a single person here who would tell you to not do it. Like we're all a bunch of enablers. Like if you're like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, we're gonna be like, okay, so go do it. Like don't ask us if
100%.
But that's another thing about the running
you.
community. I remember working for a job that was a sponsor for runDisney the year that I worked for them, and they were doing a raffle for one of the races, and it happened to be marathon weekend. They were like, oh, we're giving away for the marathon. And I went into the Facebook group and I asked, hey, my job is giving away a raffle. Which one should I do, the marathon or the half? Go for the marathon. I'm not trained for a marathon. Doesn't matter. You'll have fun. Okay?
All right.
Love it.
That's the community.
Yeah, 100%. All right, last question, you guys. We have so many new people that are coming into the runDisney community to TRPF, and it's so cool to see because it's all of a sudden since runDisney has been back, and I don't know because I didn't do runDisney beforehand, before the pandemic. I did Princess 2020 and then that was it. But I feel like there's so many new people that are finding out now and like wanting to join in and stuff and doing their first 5K, their first half, their first I guess 5K, 10K and half and full. What advice would you give to a new runner who is coming into runDisney specifically? What would you tell them?
The balloon ladies are our friends. They are not
Yes.
the sweepers behind them are the enemy. The balloon ladies are actually, they're nice
Very
ladies.
nice people.
And this is the thing, like I let myself, it got in my head, knowing very well that they're there to support us. They're there to cheer us on. They're there to make sure that we finish because they want us to finish. It's not them. They're the last line of defense. That's how I think about it. And they want you to have as much fun as, the people who are in the front, in the first corrals, so they're not the enemy. That would be my only advice. So don't worry about it so much, unless you feel like you're going to fall way behind them, then that's a different story. But for the most part, just have fun.
Yeah. You spent a lot of money. If you are doing Run Disney, you spent a lot of money to do it. Maximize every single dollar and have fun. Literally spend as much time as you can want to on course, as long as, like she said, watch the sweepers behind those balloon ladies, but maximize the fun. See all the characters, talk to the people on the course if you're a friendly type person, and have fun.
Anna?
Oh, I was waiting for Susana to go because I talk a lot, and so I wanted to give her a chance to talk. It's kind of similar to what Erin said, but more on the expectations. You train a lot, you pay a lot. Make sure that how you spend your time during the race weekend is how you want to spend your time during race weekend. It's okay to say no to people. It's okay to disappoint people. Don't compare yourself to others. If it's a distance that has been a goal for you, then be proud of that. Don't be comparing yourself to somebody who's running a longer distance, or who is running faster, or who is doing a challenge, or is wearing a costume that's more somehow than yours, and enjoy it in a way that you will walk away, you go home without regrets, fully satisfied with how you took on the weekend. So I know that especially with Run Disney, we always talk about like make the most of the race and spend as much time on the race. My dad actually has done the races with me, and with me, I mean, we see each other before we go to the corrals, and then I don't see him until we're done. Our approach is completely different. I want to stop for every character. I want to ride the rides. I want to see people and stop for selfies with people. My dad goes for age group awards, like he is on a mission. But we leave the weekend both completely satisfied with how we went. It was exactly how we wanted to do it. We hung out when we wanted to. We did the races the way we wanted to. So it's actually funny when we look at PhotoPass, because we put his pictures on mine. And so like when we do the marathon, it looks like the pictures are all out of order because he has pictures at Epcot mixed with mine and Animal Kingdom. And I'm like, what is wrong with PhotoPass? Nothing is wrong with PhotoPass. He finished and I was halfway through the race. So, but it's the doing what you want to do and not what you think other people are going to do or how it's going to look later on social media. Like forget all of that. I have a really hard time even like not coming across as rude over on the weekends because people are commenting on things or messaging. I don't see it because I want to live in the moment. So a lot of times I'm not even looking at my phone. I don't have my phone with me. So just take it all in.
Off that real fast, I noticed that very, very quickly during Wine and Dine and Marathon that I don't look at my phone. I don't do social media. Like I'll post like a picture of what I'm going to wear the night before because I feel like I need to put something on Instagram, but that's it. Like people were checking in on us during the marathon and they were directly just texting and calling her because they were like, how are you guys doing? How's Kristen doing? And like, they're asking all these questions and stuff because they were like, Kristen's not responding. And she'll like look at me and she's like, she's not responding to me either. Like sometimes you just get in your own world and it's like you
Right
you do what you got to
beside
do. And it's like you pay so much money. Just go and have a blast. Sorry. I just really liked your answer. I like everybody's answers. Susana?
I'd say everybody's answers I fully support. But also found it. Disney is one of those races that you will have the opportunity to dress up, and there are other races that actually allow you to do that too. I mean, you can dress up in Disney and not be looked up at by other runners and say, why is she wearing a costume? So embrace it and, you know, go all out, or, you know, just Disney bound it and take as many pictures, or even if you're just running and taking pictures, I mean, the pictures will be up. So that would be what I'll add to that.
That's actually why
Nice.
on the picture that you were looking at earlier, Kristen, with the three of them by the choir, why I'm not on the picture is because Erin and Susana are really good at remembering to take pictures during a race. Like the Chicago Marathon that I did with Susana is the one that I have the most pictures and videos of. So especially once we got to Hollywood Studios, I actually like told myself, you're terrible at recording things. It's your turn. And so then I purposely kept my phone in my hand from that point on, and I was recording the girls because I wanted them to, I knew I was going to be on the pictures and the videos that they took. I wanted them to have that as well, of the three of them together. So that's why I'm off to the side. I'm recording the three of them dancing by the choir because I was so happy. So
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
And we had a similar thing with the photo pass. My very first wine and dine, I did it with a friend of mine, and we did the same thing. My husband was there. She was like, she had trained really hard, so we said goodbye at the corral, and she went off and did her thing. And for like a day, I had all the photos on my photo pass. I thought we never got her finish line photo because I couldn't find it. Because our finish line photos, it is daylight. It was sun shining in the air, and she finished in pitch black. So I wasn't even looking at those, thinking that it was a finish line photo. So I had to say that because I thought that was funny. But she did her race her way, and we did it our way.
Right.
Now she stays back with us and does characters. But
Is that Jess?
yeah, it was Jess.
Yeah. She's the mall walker. She's the one that told us about the mall walking. She has family. We're gonna have to send you guys the photos because they are just phenomenal.
She was the Hydra to our
Captain America's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
The one that we chased the entire time and never caught and saved the day. She's like, sayonara, girl. Well, thank you guys so much for being on and just taking the time to kind of like hang out with us and letting everybody get to know you. How can everybody reach you guys if they would like to? And then are you guys coming to Princess? Are you coming to Spring? Are you going to be there at Wine and Dine next year? Probably most likely Marathon. I'm assuming everybody's going to come to Marathon, but let us know how to reach you and what next races you guys are coming to.
Okay, I'll start, I guess. You can find me on Instagram, Perfectly Imperfect Maria. And at the moment, I'm not signed up for any other Run Disney race, and we are still on the up and up. I don't know yet about Dopey 23.
Oh, stop it.
We will see. We will see.
Oh, stop it. We're all going to influence you into it. It's fine.
Yeah, you can influence me, but you know, my bank account works a different way. So we'll see about that. Anna?
Oh, I will be there for Princess Weekend. I am not coming for Springtime Surprise. There's only so many vacation days in the year. I've got to work. But my goal, if I can get in, is to do Marathon Weekend and Princess Weekend again next year. So I'm not planning on Wine and Dine this year either. My goal is to keep it so that moving forward, Marathon Weekend is like a family trip. I go with my husband and the kids. That's the weekend we usually do. And then Princess Weekend will be like a girls trip where I go by myself and then just hang out with everyone. So
That's awesome. And how can people find you, Anna?
Oh, Anna Runs on Coffee on Instagram. I don't know. It's just for fun. So come hang out. I don't know.
Erin and Susana?
Donna, go first.
I'm at Dopey Disney Runner and running Princess and Springtime. Definitely Dopey next year. No Princess for me for 2023, but yeah.
Awesome.
Erin?
I am Crazy Asian Runs Far on Instagram. And I'm also at Will Run for Podcast on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Yeah, come listen to the podcast. Find us anywhere you listen to your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcast, I don't know, Amazon, anywhere you find them.
And we'll definitely drop that link below too. It's a perfect way to just listen. And
You can play a really fun game on Instagram when you follow Will Run for a Podcast of like messaging them and try and guess who's replying. I've decided I'm really good at it.
Yes, because we all do our social media. Like we don't have like one person assigned to it. So you never know who you're going to get. It's usually not Diana. And I will be at Princess Cheering, the 10K
Awesome.
and the half marathon. And then I will be at Springtime Surprise. It'll be a little bit of a different trip because it's a family trip.
Okay.
Because it just happened to coincide with my stepson's birthday. So we just were like, well, if we're going to be there, we might as well do the races. And then I will be fundraising for Dopey next year. So
Cool.
Cool. Fun fact, I learned how to podcast just to listen to yours.
Well, thank you.
Oh, that's so awesome. All right, you guys, thank you again so much for jumping on and like hanging out with us and being a part of this amazing running community, and honestly just being leaders and forefront women, just taking Instagram by storm and runDisney by storm, and your positivity that you leave everybody. You guys are amazing and we love you guys. And we hope, thank you guys, everybody, for watching. We hope you guys all have a great night. If you guys have any questions for any of them, for us, about marathon, about training, about ultra runners, because they're all, something's happening, I'm not sure. Something's a brewing.
Anna said yes.
Not it.
Anna said yes a long time ago, and now just to deny it. But I have screenshots.
Kristen said yes too. So.
Screenshots. I said yes yesterday. I was like, you tell me when, girl, and I will do it. But I didn't mean this year. I meant like next year. Let me get through Dopey first.
Get
And
me a
then we
matching,
make the jump.
get me a matching costume and I'm in.
I know. Watch me PM you in like 3 or 4 months and be like, girl, I'm ready to do it. Let's do
I
this.
told you that you guys did more miles on Goofy than you would do during a 50K. So, I mean, you're already mostly there. If you are trained for Goofy, you were trained for a 50K.
Erin knows how to get me to do stuff, because whenever she's trying to convince me, she just mentions the buffets.
It's true. There are buffets of food on ultramarathon courses.
And beer?
I'll send you pictures. Oh yeah, absolutely. I did
I
Fireball.
run
lots
for
of my
beer.
last,
Literally, that's how I got through my Goofy training. I
Mhm.
would go to a brewery after, like, if I did anything past 10 miles, I'm like, I deserve beer. It was like Thursday, every single Thursday, I would do my miles, and my husband would know, because I would go by myself, and I'm like, I deserve to treat myself food and drink beer by myself. I don't want anybody around me. And that's what I would
Kristen
do.
runs for beer.
Super fun. Anyways, thank you guys so much. It was a great time. Again, if you guys have any questions, leave questions below, and we will get back to you guys when we can. Hope you guys have a great night. Thanks, you guys.